Okay, now we try to find some values that are required to go further with the random variables. Okay. So these values are called as the statistical averages. So though the name is applicable to a particular value, but normally all these are can be called as the statistical averages of a particular random variable. So we already know that the random variable can take any value from the set of values. That is, it maps the sample points onto the real axis. Based on the outcome, based on the sample point, the value that taken by the random variable will change. So here exactly we cannot predict what is the value that taken by the random variable. So we can tell exactly what is the value that taken by the random variable after performing the experiment and finding the result. Okay. So when the outcome is so and so, then x takes this value. Before that, we can expect what will be the value that taken by the random variable. So that expectation of the random variable or the mean value of the random variable can be calculated from the knowledge of the distribution of the random variable. If you know the distribution or density, okay, or strictly speaking, if you know the density function of the random variable, we can find the expected value of the random variable. So in the third unit, we concentrate on these statistical averages. First, we concentrate on the expected value or expectation of the random variable, and then we see the movements. So first, we concentrate on the movements about origin, and then the central movements. So first of all, we look at the way of finding the expectation or mean value of the random variable x. So this x can be either a continuous random variable or a discrete random variable. That is, we are performing some operations on the random variable to find certain values. Then we will have a clear understanding of that particular random phenomenon. So that is the reason why we are trying to evaluate this. So far, we studied the concept of random variable, and we discussed about various standard distribution and density functions, and we know what is conditional distribution and density and the corresponding properties. Now we try to find these values which are termed as the statistical average. The first one is the expectation or the mean of the random variable x. So let us assume this x is a continuous random variable. Then the mean value of the random variable, normally denoted as mx, and sometimes it is also denoted as mu. This is equivalent to expectation of x. So this E is the expectation operator, and this expectation of x. So this is called the expectation operator. Okay, there is some mistake. Expectation operator. That is, we are operating on a single random variable. That is, we are performing some operations on the single random variable to obtain the various values. One such value is called as the mean value or expectation value or expected value of the random variable x, and we denote it as E of x and mu. Sometimes it is also called as mu1. Mu1, it is mx. Don't get confused. Better we follow this notation, mx. So that m is the mean and subscript x indicates the random variable. It is equivalent to expectation of x. So this is defined as integral minus infinity to plus infinity x times fx of x dx. So this is the definition of the expectation of the random variable x. Okay. The mean value of the random variable x can be calculated as expectation of x, which is equivalent to minus infinity to plus infinity x fx of x dx. What is this? This we already know. This is the probability density function. Understood? If you know the probability density function of the random variable, we can evaluate the mean value of the random variable. Understood this? For example, if this x is discrete random variable, for a discrete random variable, we already know that the density function can be represented in terms of impulse function. That is, fx of x can be written as sum I is equivalent to 1 to n probability of x equivalent to xi delta of x minus xi. We already represented the density function of a discrete random variable in terms of the impulse function. So fx of x for a discrete random variable can be written like this. Understood? Now, what will be the mean value of the discrete random variable? That is again expectation of x. See whether it is mean value, the discrete or continuous, the notation is same. Notation for the mean value is mx or expectation of x or mu1, either way is equal. You substitute this value here. It is minus infinity to plus infinity x into, this is sigma fx of x for the discrete random variable is given by this summation from 1 to n. The probability of x equivalent to xi. This is delta of x minus xi. Is it right? So we can change the order of summation and integration, and this can be written as I equivalent to 1 to n. See, the probability of x equivalent to xi is independent of x. Okay. So that can be taken out. Probability of x equivalent to xi. And we have this x. Integral minus infinity to plus infinity x into delta of x minus xi. Is it right? But in case of continuous random variable, the values that are taken by the random variable can be represented as x. Okay. But in case of the discrete random variable, the random variable takes the values x1, x2 and so on xn. So therefore, this x can be written as x I. Understood this? Why I have written this as xi? In case of continuous random variable, takes the value x. But if it is discrete, it takes some finite set of values x1, x2, so on, x. Therefore, this x can be replaced by xi. So here xi will be some value. Xi may be 0, 1, minus 1, okay, whatever it may be. So that can also be taken. Then, so this mean value of the discrete random variable expectation of x is equivalent to how much? Sigma I equivalent to 1 to n xi into probability of x equivalent to x. Why? Because integral minus infinity to plus infinity delta of x minus xi dx is equivalent to 1. The area under impulse function is 1. If you shift the impulse function, that's the delta of x minus xi is the shifted version. If you shift it, its area will not change. Again, its area is same. Therefore, This is the expectation of the discrete random variable and the expectation of the continuous random variable. See the difference. That is, the integral becomes summation. That is the difference between the continuous case and the discrete case. Is it clear to you? So here we summarize the results. So for the continuous random variable, the expectation of x is equivalent to minus infinity to plus infinity x fx of x dx, and for discrete random variable it is sigma I equivalent to 1 to n xi probability of x equivalent to. That is the difference between the mean value of the continuous random variable and the mean value of the discrete random variable. Is it clear to you? So let us find the mean value of a particular random variable. Write down. Find the mean value of x, where x is uniformly distributed over AB, where x is uniformly distributed over here x is continuous, so therefore we can use either parentheses or brackets as the limits. Can you do it? That is, x is a uniformly distributed random variable. For a uniformly distributed random variable, what is fx of x? So 1 by b minus a for a to b. Either you can include this, either way you can do, because it is continuous random variable. 0 otherwise. Therefore, the mean value of the random variable mx is equivalent to the integral minus infinity to plus infinity. So therefore, this will be a to b and x into 1 by b minus a. How much you got? X square by 2 a plus b. So this is the mean value of the random variable. See, if you see the density function, it is fx of x from a to b. So this is 1 by b minus. So here the mean value is a plus b by 2. See, the x value, the random variable can take any value from a to b. So here what is the mean value? Mean value is a plus b by 2. That is the mid value somewhere here. That is the expectation value or the expected value of the random variable is equivalent to a plus b by 2. That is, as an average, the value that taken by the random variable x, uniformly distributed random variable x, is equivalent to a plus b by 2. Is it clear to you? That is the expectation. Because we cannot exactly find or we cannot exactly tell what is the value that taken by the random variable x. So that's why we are calculating the expected value or mean value of the random variable mx. Okay. So from that is somewhere here the value that taken by the random variable lies between a and b. This is approximately or it is equivalent to a plus b by 2. Is it clear to you? Now we see what is the function of random variable. So take for example, we have a thermally agitated resistor. If the resistor is thermally agitated, definitely the charge particles wander randomly in the resistor, crystal lattice of the resistor. Definitely the current constituted is also varying randomly. So let that current is I and the voltage drop across it will be V. So let us assume x is the random variable that takes the value of the current that is flowing through the thermally agitated resistor. Okay, this is a thermally agitated resistor. Let x is the random variable that takes the current that is flowing through the value of the current that is flowing through the resistor R. So therefore, this x is equivalent to I. Now we can define another random variable, that is V. V is equivalent to, that is the, what is the V? V is equivalent to I into R. Here I can write this as some g of, why I have written g of x? Because I is x. Okay. Therefore, the voltage is the function of the random variable x. X is one random variable, and we are defining another random variable, new random variable. The new random variable is the function of the random variable x. So if you have the function of the random variable x, that is, how can we find the mean value of the voltage that is dropped across the resistor? Can you find expectation of V? So this is expectation of V can be written as expectation of g of x, and there is a way to find the mean value of the new random variable V, which is the function of the random variable x. So this can be calculated as minus infinity to plus infinity g of x fx of x. That is, this is the way of finding the mean value of the random variable V, which is the function of another random variable x. G is some function, that is, G is some function, and we have a new random variable which is the function of another random variable. Then we can find the mean value of that particular new random variable as minus infinity to plus infinity g of x fx of x d. You see this. What is expectation of x? This is minus infinity to plus infinity x fx of x d. Here we have the capital X that is replaced by small x. Here it is g of x that is replaced by g of x. That is, what is the difference between the g of x and this? This g of x may be something like some x square. That is where v is some x square. Let us assume. Okay. Or some y. Y is x square. Okay. Or y may be some x plus 1. Y may be some x plus 2 or x minus 2, whatever it may be. Or this y may be some 2x. That is, here the new random variable is written in terms of the another random variable x, which is a y is a function of x. That is, if you let y is the value that taken by the random variable, then this will be equivalent to 2x. So here this g of x is x square, and small g of x will be equivalent to small x. That is the difference. Is it clear to you? Therefore, in general, you have a function y is equivalent to g of x. Normally, to find the expectation of y, what we do, we can write it as minus infinity to plus infinity y fy of y dy. But here x is given to us and fx of x is known to us, but we have to find expectation of y. Is it possible? Here we don't know this. If fy of y is not known to us, it will be difficult for us to find fy of y. So that's why we use this relation, and this can also be written as minus infinity to plus infinity. This is g of x, fx of x. That is, without having the knowledge of fy of y, we can calculate the mean value of y. Why? Because y is related to x. Understood? We know fx of x, and we know the relationship between y and x. So without knowing the fy of y, we can calculate the mean value of y. So for that purpose, we are using this equation. Therefore, the function of random variable is given, then we can find the mean value of the function of the random variable. Is it clear? So now we see what is the moment. The moment about the R. So first we concentrate on the nth moment. The nth moment of a random variable x is defined as expectation of x power n. Expectation of x power n. See, expectation of x is the mean value, and expectation of x power n is called as the nth moment of the random variable x, and this is equivalent to minus infinity to plus infinity x power n fx of x. So this is denoted as mu n. So for n equivalent to 1, this mu n becomes mu 1, which is equivalent to the mean value, expectation of x, that is minus infinity to plus infinity x fx of x dx. And for n equivalent to 2, we have mu 2, that is expectation of x square, which is equivalent to sigma minus infinity to plus infinity x square fx of x. So this is very much important number, that is also called as the mean square value of the random variable. The first one is the mean value. This is the mean square value. So if you know the mean square value, you can find the root of it. You will get root mean square value. The RMS value can be calculated when you know the mean square value. Take for example the voltage random variable in the previous example. To take the voltage, if you want to find the RMS value of the voltage that is dropped across the thermally agitated resistor, okay, then first you can find the mean square value, take the square root of the mean square value, you can get the effective value or RMS value. Understood? And for n equivalent to 3, so mu 3, it is expectation of x power 3, and this is minus infinity to plus infinity, so x cube fx of x So normally these three quantities are important. The remaining, for n equivalent to 4 or for n greater than 3, the remaining values are not of that much important. So that's why in all practical purposes, so mostly we calculate up to n equivalent to 3. There is a moment for n equivalent to 3. And especially these two are much important. The first two moments. So what is the first moment? The first moment is the mean value. second moment is the mean square. Understood this? So these are the moments about the organ. You know the mean value and the mean square value. Is it clear to you? Here actually this x of x power n can be written as the g of x. We used this because x is known to us and x power n is the function of x. N may be 1, then you will get x, n may be 2, x square, n may be 3, you will get x. Is it clear to you? Write down. Find the mean square value of uniformly distributed random variable. Find the mean square value of uniformly distributed random variable x. That is, x is uniformly distributed, then fx of x is equivalent to 1 by b minus a for a to b. Here the assumption is b is greater than a, 0 otherwise. Then find the mu2 as expectation of x square, the mean square value. How much you got? But you will get x square and you will get x cube by 3. Is it? So, b minus a whole square by 3. Or a minus b whole square by 3. Both are same because b minus a whole square can be written as a minus b whole square. Is it clear? In the previous case, we have x fx of x, the x by b minus a from a to b. Now we have x square by b minus a from a to b. We take 1 by b minus a outside, then we will have x cube by 3 from a to b. Substitute the limits. Okay. What you will get? B cube minus a cube divided by 3 into b minus a. And then simplify it. The denominator you have b minus a, the numerator it is b cube minus a cube. So you can simplify it. A square by 3. If you feel this is simplified, you just leave. Is it clear to you? The way that we obtain the mean value and the mean square value. Here we consider one random variable. What is that? Uniformly distributed random variable, and we obtain the mean value and the mean square value of the same value. Now we see, you do one thing. We already studied different distribution and density functions. For those also, we find mean and mean square values. Take the Rayleigh density function, a Rayleigh random variable, exponential, and Poisson, and binomial. For all those things, find mean value and mean square value. We take it as homework. Find the mean values, mean and mean square value of the remaining standard random variables like Rayleigh, Gaussian, exponential, binomial, and Poisson. Now we see central moments. Expectation of x power n is the moment about the origin. It is called the nth moment of the random variable x. Now we see what is the central moment. Write down. The central moment of the random variable x is the central moment the central moment of a random variable x is the expectation of difference between x and mx. The central moment of a random variable is defined as the expectation of difference between x and its mean value. That is, the central moment of a random variable x is, first you find the difference between x and mx. Then take the expectation of the difference between x and mx. Is it? Expectation of the difference between x and mx. The expectation of x minus mx is the central moment. So now we see what is the nth central moment. Nth central moment is expectation of so here the central moments are moments about the mean value. Okay. See, the moment is moment about the origin. See, when mx equivalent to 0, here when mx equivalent to 0, what you will get? Expectation of x power n. When mx equivalent to 0, that is called moment about the origin. Now this is the moment about the mean value. Moment about the mean value is called as the central moment. So the nth central moment of a random variable is defined as expectation of x minus mx power n. So this can be written as integral minus infinity to plus infinity x minus mx power n fx of x. In this equation, if you substitute mx equivalent to 0, you will get nth moment. That is the difference between the moment and the central moment. So first we consider n equivalent to 1. Write down a problem. Show that the first central moment is equivalent to 0. Show that the first central moment is equivalent to 0. What does that mean? First central moment is n equivalent to 1. Show that the first central moment is equivalent to 0. Try it. That is, you have to find expectation of x minus mx. The first central moment is equivalent to 0. That is, for n equivalent to 1, it will become expectation of x minus mx, which is equivalent to minus infinity to plus infinity x minus mx fx of x dx. Is it? Then this can be written as minus infinity to plus infinity x fx of x dx minus, see, mx is the mean value is a value, that is a constant independent of x, so that can be taken out. Mx integral minus infinity to plus infinity fx of x dx, so which is equivalent to, so what is this first integral? Mx and mx into 1. See, this second integral is equivalent to 1. The area under PDF is 1. Therefore, you will get mx, which is equivalent to Is it clear to you? Therefore, the first central moment is equivalent to 0. This is an important question. You may be asked to prove that the first central moment is equivalent to 0. And what will be the second central moment? That is very important for us. For n equivalent to 2, the moment, the central moment is called as the second central moment. That is x minus mx whole square, which is equivalent to integral minus infinity to plus infinity x minus mx whole square fx of x. See, the notation is very important. Okay? Subscript must be clearly written. Okay? Otherwise, you will get confused. And one more thing, see, here we are writing the capital X, but here we have to write small x. Then how much you will get here? One is you will get expectation of x square you will get, and minus mx whole square. Is it right? We expand it, x square plus mx square minus 2x mx. So this particular second central moment is also very important. The second central moment is called as the variance of the random variable x. The variance of x is equivalent to sigma x square. This is denoted as sigma x square, which is equivalent to expectation of x square minus mx square. That is the difference between mean square value and square of the mean value is called as the variance of the random variable. We will continue in the next class. We discuss much about this particular quantity called as the variance.